And welcome back to the Off the Clock show with Sean Gervais from OrbisX and Marty, Mr. Marshall Hill, Pints of Policy podcast, as well as hyperClean car care products. That's it.
Yeah, and thank you. There's been multiple listeners that have reached out and said that they're OrbisX people and they, been interested in the product. So it means a lot, guys. Thanks so much. Really, it does. Thank you for reaching out, being a part of everything that we're doing. Hey, here's the big community.
Hey. Oh, you can't see mine. It's disappearing in the. Oh, there we go. I got some Empress gin, so it's purple.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do a little concoction. It's the best way, right?
Look at you. It's chemistry day on the Off the Clock show.
Chemistry day. So, wife sent me with some pineapple juice.
Okay.
Right. Just had a whole pineapple last night. She crushed it all up.
Beautiful.
Got a big pitcher of pineapple juice. Oh yeah, we love it, right?
Oh man, yeah. Look at the size of that mug too.
Well, so pure pineapple juice, then hitting it with the captain.
Oh yeah.
So should get that sweetness and that fun flavor of pineapple. What?
Absolutely.
There's some what is that? Bahama Mama? No, yeah. I think Bahama Mama has pineapple, doesn't it? There's a couple like tropical drinks that are strong pineapple.
Yeah. 100%.
Pineapple and rum. You're a big rum guy.
Oh, huge. And pineapple as well. So mixing the two, I'm in heaven. Like me, pizza. I don't know how you feel about this, but pineapple on pizza.
Out.
Wow.
100% out.
I'm a huge fan.
I'm out. There's one place pineapple belongs in my belly. It should not get to my belly on bread with tomato sauce, cheese, and chicken. No, sorry.
It gives it that sweetness. It's man. Because me, I usually fry up pineapple as well. Like I cut it in slices and then fry it up.
I think maybe what turned me out to pineapple so young is you got to understand this would have been in the 80s. They weren't quite developed in their process of pizza as it is now. And it was a lot of Canadian bacon.
Okay.
And pineapple from Little Caesars. So, let's go ahead and admit that my first entry into pineapple on pizza wasn't at the most upscale pizza establishments.
No, exactly. And it kind of tarnished you for life now.
But man, I can eat a pepperoni pizza all day long.
Yeah. That's true. Nothing beats a good classic. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I see some of these pizzas now, they're trying to get way too creative. Just like
get barbecue off my pizza. I don't need barbecue. I'm going to eat barbecue. I'm going to eat barbecue. I don't need it mixed with bread, cheese, and all the other stuff that's in a pizza.
Exactly. 100%. Yeah. It's funny because my wife too, sometimes she gets a pizza that's fully loaded, like meat lovers type thing. But a lot of times what she'll do instead is she just gets a plain pizza, but then she'll get chicken wings or something. So she's getting, her meat and her chicken and the taste that way, but not mixed together. You know what I mean? So it's, but me, no, all day long, man. Pineapple on pizza with jalapenos too. Woo, man, do
you guys have any of the big national brands of pizza that we do, like Domino's?
We have Domino's, Pizza. What is it, Little Caesars or whatever? And then there's a lot more though. I would say mom and pop pizza shops than like huge franchises. I would say that for sure. Yeah. But even though pizza is popular here, because I mean it's pizza, right? I'd say it's not as popular as other stuff. Like for example, the city I'm in right now, shawarma. Holy shit! I think we have per capita. This isn't even a joke. I think we have the most shawarma shops in across Canada. In the city I'm in, it's just like shawarma everywhere, and then there's like shawarma fusion where they've done they mix shawarma with other shit and they combine it together. I don't know. It's not for me personally, but it's like shawarma everything. I remember when we moved to the Caribbean and we were like, finally we can get away from shawarma for a while. And then we went partying in downtown and there was like 15 shawarma shops. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like,
what's a shawarma?
Oh shit. Yeah. Oh, you're sitting there just letting me go on and on and on. Hold on here, because it's best described with a picture, and I can never remember how to friggin' spell this, but there we go. Shawarma. Okay, there we go. Hold on. Images.
So people can Google it. SCH.
Because it's gonna look like a lot of other. Can I even?
No, you can't
Oh,
spell it so
there we go.
everybody else can. So everybody else
I
can
got
look
it.
up it.
All right, I will in 2 seconds. I had a sweet spot where you could see the
No,
image.
ain't working. Ain't working.
There we go. Can you see it? No? You're like, no.
Shawarma. How do you spell it?
All right, SHAWARMA. So shawarma.
Okay. A gyro.
Yeah. It looks exactly very, very similar. Yeah. And then they have different meats, and it's similar to a donair. I'm not sure if you know what donair is. Just different meats and stuff inside. But basically,
What is just the bread's different? Because it looks just like a gyro.
Yeah, the bread's a little different, but also the meat that they use. So a lot of Lebanese restaurants around here, for example, and so halal meats and stuff like that. But it's just huge because we have such a big Lebanese community, and well, just Middle Eastern in general. And so it's huge here, huge. But the thing is, you can also get that without it being in like a sandwich form. So you can get it as like a shawarma platter, and then it'll just be the meat on top of usually a mountain of food like rice, potatoes. They've got their fattoush salad, like a bunch of stuff. It's really good, but they're big on feeding people, right? And I'm sure you're familiar with that with Brazilian culture, and so you just get a mountain of food. Like it's usually, that's why I think it's so popular. It's people after the clubs and stuff. It's the only thing open. They go there and you just get a mountain of food. You go home, stuff your face, pass out, basically.
That was our Saturday night. We did a big Brazilian barbecue. I mean, we had everything. We had wings, sausage, pork, chops, and then of course I sent you the picture. We found.
I know you sent me the picture. I was so jealous.
Beautiful. Man, it was one of the best we'd had. Oh, so good. She's like, "Here, you want some pork chops? You want some wings?" I'm like, no.
No, I want Kanye. Exactly.
So, today I was eating the leftover pork chops and wings. Like, nah, I'll eat that later in the week.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a tomorrow thing. Yeah. So I got a funny story for you. Not funny for me, but everyone else will find it funny, I'm sure. And it relates to that night. So I went out for dinner. And we went to the same restaurant. I told you about this before. We were trying to get the picanha. And remember, I told you they didn't have it. I was disappointed. So then you sent me that picture later. You were like, yeah, I got some picanha. So I was already sad because I didn't have it. And then you sent me this picture. I was like, man, I really wanted it. But then what happened after, it was just like bad things come in threes, So the couple we went out for dinner with, they had never seen our shop before. And they're sort of new to the city. So I was like, hey, listen, if you're not in a rush to get home, I'll take you guys for a drive. You see our shop, So we went down, opened up the doors, go in the shop. And they're looking around. They're like, man, this is beautiful. They're looking at some nice cars. We had a really nice 22 Navigator that was in there. Oh, beautiful, beautiful truck. This thing is like one of those like presidential type things, like you drive around someone important, And anyway, one of my guys left the sunroof open, which is important later. But so the car's getting coated, sitting there overnight. As we're leaving, I see there's kind of like a little leak dripping down near the front door. I was like, that's weird. But there was, those like cups you play like the drinking games with, those plastic cups. So there's one of those right by where the drip is coming. So I'm thinking, oh, okay. So one of my guys must have seen the leak, put that there. They'll call maintenance tomorrow. No problem. Right. So my buddy's looking at it though, and the drops aren't falling in the cup. So he's like, no, man, look, your guy's an idiot. Like, look, we got to move this and catch it. Right. So he's moving the cup around, and there's water splashing on us and stuff. We're trying to anyway, we get it fixed. We're kind of joking with each other, like, throwing like little bits of water, just being stupid, right? We leave, go home. Next morning, get a call, 8:30 in the morning. The whole place is fucking flooded. The sewer's backed up. That was shitty water. I couldn't believe it, man. It was terrible. So anyway,
you were just throwing it on each other, like
just throwing it on each other. Yeah. And but I told my buddy, and he was like, man, good thing, because he's a jokester, and he's like, I almost like pretended to drink it, and it was bad. So anyway, long story short, there was a leak apparently, and the whole place flooded. $65,000 damage. We just finished our new showroom, everything like that, custom made furniture, you name it, all destroyed. But where the Navigator was, that was my first question. So I was like, oh man, The truck's 120 grand. It's like, what happened to the navigator? The only corner that didn't get touched was where the navigator was sitting. We got so lucky. And then my buddy tells me, he's like, yeah, the sunroof was open.
Yeah, that's where you said that earlier. And I was like, I've just been waiting. I've been like, no, please no.
I know.
Please no.
Like, no. But so the whole place smelled horrible. The crazy part though is my guys, they're about that life. They're like, we got to finish the work and stuff. And so they're in there and they've got clothespins on their noses, just banging out the work the whole time. They had to wrap garbage bags around their legs because they're like walking in water, basically. Like, oh, it was bad. So anyways, insurance adjusters came. We called another shop that we swap work with, and we've rented 2 of their bays down the road so that we can just funnel work there for now. And then we had to rent a little space from a dojo nearby so we can have people go there. That's where they sit and wait and stuff like that. So it's kind of a mess, but it goes to show you though, like when shit happens, literally, you just gotta just deal with it. But you also got to realize you can't plan for these things. So even if you think everything's going great in my business and, oh man, am I not doing great? Things are going to happen, but it's how you deal with them. And so our team literally just moved like a SWAT unit. They were just, everyone fell into position. Everything just went smoothly because we set up those processes in the beginning. But what I will say is this is one of the most important lessons for your business, is why you have to scale. Imagine I was just a one-man operator, this would literally wipe out the whole income, right? But having scaled, having teams that can, do this, do that. So the 2 bays we rented out, they're not even at the same location. So we've got one guy, or tinter, he's headed down there and he's, organizing things with the other tint crew, stuff like that. And then at the other place, that's where we're doing all our detailing stuff. But they've got to be extra fast now because we're working somewhere that's unfamiliar to us. It's smaller than a regular spot, and we still have to pump out the same amount of jobs. So we've done our best to reschedule some, but yeah, we're still pumping out 20 cars a day in these kind of shitty conditions.
Yeah,
so,
it's such a lesson, right? That's such a lesson that
oh,
there's always something that's going to happen. There's never there. I mean, I don't know of any business, of any person that runs a business that ever doesn't have stuff go wrong.
yeah, it doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you start your business today and sell it tomorrow, you're going to encounter some problems during the way. Absolutely. And that's where,
yeah, that's why those, memes and like, emotional posts and stuff, like that's when those make sense, because there's so many people that they don't think that bad things are going to happen, and they just do. It's not your fault. It just shit that happens. Like you said, right? Like, Forrest Gump was right, like, God damn, he was a fucking genius. Shit happens.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a matter of how you get back up, right? It's a matter of how you correct, how you manage, how you operate, how you can get up to the line and call an audible and figure out the next play to go. I mean, it is what it is. I think it's part of the fall of, I'm getting excited. I was talking to a guy earlier. Oh, Scott over at, what company is he with? I don't remember. And we were talking about beer because he likes to drink beer. And I'm so excited about fall beer coming out. Like, 'cause I'm ready for pumpkin ales. I'm ready for football. I'm ready for all that. But you know how many times football players make mistakes, have bad things happen, or somebody goes, the other team makes a good play. Like, you just got to get right back up to the line and go back after it. Like, you just got to audible and make a switch and keep going. Like, there's no other way around it. I know Dustin Stanley, he's a guy that I think listens to this episode, but he's in our community pretty well. And he had a problem with his trailer. He's got into distribution and had all the products from inside the trailer just completely fall over, and the railing stuff that he put up didn't work. Like, got to figure it out, right? Like, you can't sit there and cry over it. You just gotta go. Yeah. You gotta make changes and keep moving, man. It's crazy though, right? Crazy.
Yeah.
It'll always be something crazy that happens. For us in the water was at the last warehouse location. We had some growers come in from California, and they weren't ready to understand that in Oklahoma, the winter, it gets cold. And so you get your gas turned on and you run your heater in the winter. Well, they didn't do that. They got all their electricity going to the back, right? They got some powerful lamps and You know,
Yeah.
they got a lot invested there, and I guess they just figured that the rest of the place would stay warm. I don't know, but the pipes busted when it got too cold a couple years ago, and we had it got flooded out at our warehouse, and we were renting at that one, and the landlord wanted us to claim it on our insurance because those guys didn't have insurance, and he wanted us
Oh
he
man.
wanted us to commit. We told him, was like, you realize that's a felony, right? Like a
Yeah, that's
insurance fraud is a
fraud.
felony.
Yeah.
No thanks, man. No thanks. I'll
Yeah.
pass.
Absolutely. Like you're literally asking me to, like, geez, that's crazy. So, and good on you for taking a hard pass on that.
Yeah, hard pass.
Yeah. Like some people, they wouldn't think anything of it really. They'd probably think like, oh, this is what I have to do. And no, you definitely don't, landlords do have a lot of power in some ways, but that's something that, like we were getting in an argument with ours right now. We got to sort it out, but they were trying to tell us the same kind of thing. And don't get me wrong, our insurance is covering a lot of stuff that we need fixed ASAP, but this wasn't caused by our unit. So he was trying to do the same kind of thing as what you're saying. And we're like, no, because it also means that our premiums are going to jump up and all this kind of stuff. Whereas if we can show that the fault is of somebody else, then our insurance can cover us right away, but our premiums won't go up. And then they're going to go after them and do what they do, so these kinds of things are important. Oh, that brings me to another point though, is make sure you have business insurance for when shit happens. Because I see a lot of guys, they're like, oh, I don't have business insurance or something like that. And I do see a lot of posts, I'm sure you do as well, Marty, where people are, who do you guys recommend as an insurance person? Honestly, best thing to do is just call around a bunch of them. But also there's these websites out there where you can put in all your information and it'll compare quotes about, 10 or 12 different places or whatever. And then,
and then trust me, you'll get phone calls.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Trust me, you'll get phone calls. We made that mistake one time. We went on one of those and filled out. I didn't, but I found out somebody else did. And I went, you did what? Ah, damn it. And sure enough, cha-ching, ring, 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 ring.
Absolutely.
But if you want a quote, business, that's how you get a quote.
That's how you go. That's how you get a quote. Yep. Yeah. And you usually get the best quote and stuff like that as well. Yeah. And then if you have other insurance, you can often couple them together, save some money. But
you mentioned posts. You seen any fun posts? What's been a fun? You said that what? Post in the group or something?
Yeah, I saw a hilarious post this morning in the group. So on the OrbisX booking form, we have a section there. It's part of my book where it's a process we do with our customers that I put in the booking form so other people can do the same process. Works really well, and it's so simple. It's just asking the customer for 3 wishes. And so there's a little section, it's got a little wizard with a wand, and it's like every customer that comes into Auto World, we tell them, listen, if I was a magic genie, I could wave a wand or you could rub my lamp or whatever, and I could grant you 3 wishes, what would they be? And really it's a process of narrowing down the customer to, tell you exactly what they want. Like, oh, I don't like that stain, or there's a little scratch on this door panel or whatever. Instead of you just going in willy-nilly and doing the whole car to perfection, because the customer wants to get in and get out, you want to get in and get out and get paid. So find out what their areas of, so anyway, we've got this wish section. And so the customer, one of the guys shared a submission he got, and the guy said, he wants the, interior cleaned, a stain removed. And then the third one was, I want you to make the car a pussy magnet.
It's a 1998 Corolla, and I want to pick up some tail.
Well, so here's the thing. So the replies back were what was taking me out, the comments, because it was like, wait a minute, he's driving a Ridgeline? I don't think that's possible. The comments took me out. Oh man, but that was pretty funny. And just the fact that, but it is not, if I had that customer submit the form, first off, my reply back to him was, you should definitely put a magnet in his cup holder when you're done. Absolutely. But also, like, when you get a customer like that, do whatever you can to like keep that customer for life. Because number one, that guy is going to be able to more than likely take a joke, and be just a more down to earth person, I'm sure, a little more casual. But also, he's likely got like-minded friends that are going to think shit's funny too. And that's where you can really get creative with some marketing. So I would put a reminder in OrbisX to follow up with that guy, 3 months later, and not have it automated at that point. I would personally, call him back up and be like, hey, how's the strength of your pussy magnet? Do we need to get it in for another tune-up? Or is it still attracting? I would just do something interesting with that customer, and that's where you can really start to personalize your business in that way. And you're going to lock that guy in for life. And then if he enjoys his experience, every time you call him, you're going to be able to, put off some joke or something. You could probably take a guy that was maybe going to come in every 6 months. Now you can get him in every 3 months because you're following up with some kind of, funny quip or something like that. So anyway, I saw that in the group, man. I was dying this morning.
All right, I got two. One, right? I mean, I already sent it to you, right? Like, and that's what leads into the second one. So the first one is a meme of Milli Vanilli. Now, not everybody knows who Milli Vanilli is, but I mean, they were huge, huge. One, did they get 2 albums or just one? I think just one. I think just one album, and then they went on tour, and that's when it blew up. They got on tour, and they couldn't sing, and they got exposed that they were lip syncing their entire album. They put on music videos. They had done everything, right? But they had really great songs. I remember as a young kid, and I was at the lake on one. I remember specific memories of being at the lake, listening to my little Walkman, right? Walkman and being there and fucking jamming out to some Milli Vanilli. I mean, I like some of their stuff. And the meme is how Milli Vanilli is so upset that now there's TikTokers being famous by lip syncing, and it's accepted.
Exactly. The times have changed. It's so true, though. And, it's funny because I think a lot of artists still do lip sync their shows, 100%. I mean, and you're doing 46 different tour dates, different cities, all that stuff. Your voice is just tarnished if you can't. And then, but it's funny. It's like you look and it's like, geez, I was doing that 20 years ago, persecuted for it, and now everyone's doing it, and it's cool, it's hip, it's.
So then go over to TikTok, and you can find us at hyperClean Store, because that's where we love to be too. And we've done really well on TikTok. I've liked it for a while. And we had one that came through from Swanky Details, and this is specifically since you asked about ceramic snow recently. Like, he specifically pours in ceramic snow on his foam cannon, shows there was no water beading, then goes and washes it, and instant water behavior. He's got water sheeting and protection now on the paint. So listen,
that is amazing.
He didn't lip sync it either. He did not lip sync
it. So all his voice, that's wicked. Okay, so how would people see that video then? Is it
Swanky Details?
Swanky Details.
SWANKY Details. Yeah, go follow him on TikTok.
Perfect. Yeah. And you've got some videos, I'm sure, as well on your page. On TikTok.
Yeah, we're big TikTokers. Like I said, I've talked about TikTok for a while. I've always been a big TikTok guy.
Yeah, because it used to be Musical.ly, I think, right, or something like that.
Music.ly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, because that's when I first heard about it. Well, not heard of TikTok because it was not existed yet, but my daughters, they had it. One of their cousins was over, and they were trying to explain it to me, and I remember at the time being like, this is weird. But I saw there was probably business applications, but I was just looking at them like for kids. Like, this is kind of weird to do.
It was weird. It's similar to me, right? It was, my kids would be on the couch. I'd have them for the weekend, because we were going through divorce and everything, and they started playing with it, and it was like, what are you doing? Like, what are you? Strange. And we started doing TikTok, our music.lys together. And then when TikTok bought it, it really was like, oh, okay.
That's when it was like, oh, the aha moment.
But that was when it was so difficult, because TikTok got only known about, chicks dancing.
Yeah.
Right. Like, that's all it was. Because that's all it was at first. Goddamn, it was everywhere. You couldn't.
Well, it was chicks dancing.
Once one of them, and I mean, they're like, well, it's the algorithm. You just because you're watching. I'm like, well, I opened it up, and the first ones were chicks dancing. I mean, so I mean, what am I supposed to do? Like,
there's nothing else to do. So obviously,
I had to put it away for a while, because that's all it was. Like, I couldn't until detailers finally got on. I couldn't find anything. There was a guy that does magnet fishing. I would watch him, and I'm like, yeah, but I mean, there's only so much magnet fishing I can watch.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe 2 or 3 videos, then I'm good. Yeah, it's true. Man, that's interesting. So, all right, do you got any sales tips for the guys?
Yeah, but Sean, I'm telling you, man, it's just the tip.
Just the tip. That's right. Just the tip. Yeah. We can't give them the whole thing.
Not doing it, man. Not doing it.
I know last time I put it in too far.
Yeah, you did. Yes. So I'm going with a little bit of what I talked about yesterday on one of our Pints and Polishing podcast episodes, because we were talking about value, and it's a misused word, misunderstood used word. And really what value for us as detailers to a customer isn't necessarily the price. It's really about what you can solve for the people. And if you solve such a
100%.
massive problem for them, then value isn't really associated absolutely at all with price. Really,
True.
they don't care what they pay. So it's not a race to the bottom or offering a discount or anything like that. If you can provide the most value to your customer, then you have a customer for life, you have a customer that's referring people, like you, everything you want out of a customer, you're going to get. Okay. Well, I got to sell them the service based on selling them that value proposition. First of all, I've got to get them into my orbit. How do I get somebody into an orbit just on value? And I know that in sales, I want to be a downward, that theory of, what's that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's the sell me the pin. Wolf on Wall Street,
Yeah.
right? The whole premise of their sales point is to basically, I think the word is downward sales funnel. Like it's always getting the person to say yes. It's always, meeting their needs and getting them to the point of associating that need needs to be fulfilled, right? Like how do you do that when you're talking to somebody that calls you and says, I need a detail? Well, it starts in your marketing, that if you can start to market to people about that value proposition, then you know that person's already in your orbit towards that way. Then my downward funnel of sales makes it a lot easier. And that phone call or whatever I'm doing, it's going to be a lot easier because I'm only talking about what we're going to solve for them. For instance, your tip would be, and maybe I put that one in too far. That was pretty in depth, but
I felt it over here.
Just the tip part of it, right? Then make your marketing around what you wanting to solve for your customer. If that's, hey, I want to clean your car on a Saturday morning while you get to make breakfast for your kids and hang out. Show some stuff of, what things they would be doing, right? Like you could there's plenty of ways. And we talked about TikTok. There's plenty of ways that you can take small little short clips of people doing something that they would rather be doing instead of cleaning the car. And then you could let them be doing something while you're cleaning the car. Hey, eggs and bacon sounds great. Yeah. Tell me how it is while I'm out cleaning your car. Right. Yeah. For me, it was you shop while we shine. I did a valet and detail shop.
That's a really good one.
Yeah. At a mall. So we would valet their cars while they shopped. Great. While you shop, we shine. Right. So figure out what it is problem that you're solving and then market around that problem. That's the tip.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up actually, because something that we've had in our shop as soon as you walk in, and also that gets sent out by email whenever they make a new appointment, we have a list. There's 15 items on there, and it shows a map, and then there's just an itemized list of things that are near us. And so we send that to them, and it's also on the door when they walk in, shows them what's around us. So that way, it's kind of the, you shop while we shine. It's that whole premise that look at all these errands you might have to do in a week. So you can definitely make the time slot work, because there's going to be stuff on this list. There's 15 things. You could go out for, lunch with your sweetheart, or you can do some shopping, do your groceries, whatever. There's a dry cleaner. There's all these different things that we've listed that are nearby, that it just puts in their brain. These are things you can do while we're doing what we do.
Mobile detailers love to go, at least they should go to places where there's a lot of people that they can be seen, right?
Oh, so that 100%.
Great, right? Or if you can get in with the local golf course, you could just have a little video of somebody walking off the green. There's plenty of those websites that have already already
made
content that you can buy like 5 seconds worth, right? When you're walking off the golf course, how amazing is it to drive away in a clean car?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. And then you market towards people that are trying to save time while they're doing something else.
Doing that. Exactly. And if you're a little more creative and want to make your own as well, I always thought a good one, and I should probably do this myself, was if you show a guy and he's like cleaning his car with like a wash mitt, and then, cut that to a different scene where he replaces the wash mitt with a glove, like a catcher's mitt, and he's playing catch with his son, and it's like, there's better things you could do with your time while we're, taking care of business for you. So, things like that, just quick little things that you can do that just show, like, instead of doing this, you could be doing this. And that's the value that you're portraying. And so, yeah, I always looked at creating value as you're trying to get a strike in a bowling alley. And so you've got all these pins, and each pin is a different part of your value. So price could be one, time could be one, the results you get, all these different things, they're all pins. But what I find happens is most people, when they're trying to build value for the customer to get that strike, the first pin they always go for is the money one. They always, oh, maybe if I just, lower the price, I can knock down that pin and I'm getting closer to a strike. And that's the last one you should tackle, honestly, because you put thought into your prices most likely, and you've calculated out, okay, this is what I can charge to make what I want to make, but also, make it affordable for the customer. So don't touch that pin. That pin is probably good. It's the other ones. It's the time. So maybe when you're talking to somebody, like, and they're kind of on the fence, like, okay, listen, is it a timing issue? Like, maybe if we could squeeze you in this time, or you're a busy guy, I could get it done faster for you. And that's where those probing questions initially will help when you're talking to the customer and finding out why they want to get the detail, not so much what they want to get done at first. So if someone calls in, they're like, yeah, I want to get my car detailed. Some questions that we'll ask them are, did you just purchase the car? That'll help us determine if they want to get it protected. Maybe they bought a used car and they want to get it, cleaned up and stuff like that, or smoke removed, or whatever the case may be. Or ask other questions like, do you have a date coming up this weekend, or a big family trip? Is that why you want to get the car clean before it? These kinds of things. Ask some probing questions, and it'll help you, as Marty said, get to that solution for their problem, right? Because you're finding out a little bit more about them. But the last question should be like, does this price work for you? Like, no. I mean, we'll ask people, we'll throw out the price and be like, does that make sense? Because then if they say no, then we'll be like, what would make that number make sense for you, right? And so this is going to bring me to my just a tip today. There will be just a tip. I promise. Sorry, ladies. But so my just a tip is something that we bust out when someone brings up price. And if they say, and I'm sure a lot of guys have heard this before, well, Joe's detailing down the road, they're going to do it for $100 cheaper. The line that we bust out to combat this is, if I charged you less, would you trust me more? And that's the line we bust out. And in their head, they're like, well, shit, no, if I paid you less, I'm not going to trust you more. And then we jump into the value, the reason, like, we have 936 5-star reviews right now. We are the most positively reviewed auto shop in the city because people trust us with their vehicle. And that trust comes with hiring the right people. So paying us less is not going to build more trust. And we just lean into that. I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, that line gets them to change the framework of their thinking, and they stop thinking so much about price, and they start thinking more about, okay, I am trusting someone with my vehicle, I'm trusting them to do the job right. I have a level of expectation what I want done. And if I pay them less, they might not be able to deliver those results. So just it shifts their framework of thinking, and it's subtle, it's fast, and then you can jump right back into focusing on those other pins and knocking those down instead of price, because get them away from thinking about price and get them, towards thinking about who you are as a person, as a company, the kind of results you'll deliver, and lean heavily onto your accomplishments. We did 25 cars this past week. We did the exact same service you're looking for, sir, and every single one of them was ecstatic and left us a good review. I want you to be number 26. There's ways you can shift the focus away from price. So that's my just a tip today. There you go. See, hope it didn't hurt.
Don't worry, it was good.
Okay. Yeah.
It was good for me. Was it good for you?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. We both got there. Oh my God. Terrible. But yes, that's my just a tip. So I really like, though, that a big part of our show, I think, is helping people with some theoretical stuff. But in the upcoming segments, as we've been talking about, we're going to start putting some of this stuff into practice for you guys and show you how things can actually get done. Set up some landing pages, integrate them with ads into OrbisX. I might be giving away too much, Marty. I'm not sure. Let me know. but we're going to show you guys how to actually put these theories into practice and turn them into real dollars for your business and more booked appointments. Absolutely. Yeah. Did I give away too much? All right. It was a little more than the tip. That's okay. Oh man. So yeah, no, I think this was a good session, some good value here. And okay, so you did mention, Marty, you talked about this kind of stuff on the Pints of Polishing podcast as well. And I always forget to mention, where can people find the Pikes of Polishing podcast as well, if they're not already listening?
Apple. Yeah. Any
Apple?
major podcast platform. Same as you, right? Like this anywhere you can find OrbisX off the clock, you can find Pints of Polishing podcast. Yeah.
Perfect. And you just go
People
there
should listen to both. They really should.
100%. Absolutely.
I encourage our listeners to go listen to the OrbisX one, because I think we put out different style of content, different ways of talking about things. And most people that listen from both sides, they enjoy that. Enjoy different aspects of it. Yeah.
It is good when you mix the perspectives, like it's same as me. Like I listen to some podcasts that are very more formal, like, marketing strategies and business. And this is how you set up a corporation and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also listen to some other stuff like Brad Lee, and he'll just come with some more like raw stuff. That's, you gotta get it from both sides, because there's great information out there, and don't be put off by someone like, Gary V, if he's like using some cuss words. Not the end of the world. You know what I mean? He's got some great ideas there. Hashtag garage sailing. I'm just kidding. But anyway, so yeah, I think no, this is good. So guys, check out the Pints of Polishing podcast as well. Definitely check out Ceramic Snow. And also we've got the new you've got the new what's it called now? The Perfect Glass Towel, right?
Oh yeah, we got quite we've got quite a few new things that we've put out. Yeah. New foamers out. We got a whole new line of towels and stuff out. We've got compounds and polishes coming. We got all kinds of stuff coming. Great stuff.
Those towels, by the way, super affordable. I think priced very, very well. Absolutely. And I was on the site like 2 days ago. I was putting some stuff in the cart. And what I found though, I was looking at things. And I was like, man, that's a really good price. And then I'd add more stuff. I set myself as like, okay, I got 15 minutes. I got to put this order through before I go do some stuff. And then next thing you know, I added like 30 more items. So I've got a bunch of shit in there. So hopefully it saves. I don't know, because I was logged in. So hopefully it saves the cart. We'll find out. But yeah, fingers crossed. If not, I lost all that work. But easy enough to do, very easy to shop. So definitely check out Marty's products as well. If you're not already, then you're definitely missing out. Yeah, well, that was definitely more than just a tip. Sorry.
That you went a little bit more on that one. That's
I went the whole thing. I think I'm touching the bottom now.
You might have just put it on in for just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Next time, just a tip, promise. Well, listen, Marty, thanks for your time. I appreciate you. We'll see you next Tuesday, and everybody stay tuned. We got more great stuff to come.
See you, man.
Ciao.